In a world where Britannia has quite the appetite for conquering, they set their sights on Japan. Not for sushi or anime, but for sakuradite, a rare resource. Japan, being all samurai and honor, put up a fierce fight, but surprise, surprise, Britannia wins. And of course, they had to come up with a fancy new name for their freshly acquired territory. Drumroll, please! Area 11. Because apparently just saying Japan wasn't quite cool enough. Fast forward 7 years and we meet Lelouch Lamperouge, a snazzy young Britannian dude with some serious chess skills. He's minding his own business, probably planning his next move in the game, when suddenly he's caught in the middle of a war between Britannian military and some rowdy terrorists. Talk about a surprise field trip. Oh, and let's not forget Clovis La Bretagne, the viceroy of Area 11, giving a TV speech like it's the latest reality show episode. But the terrorists decide to crash the party with a deadly gas bomb, which turns out to be less of a gas bomb and more of a green-haired woman. Whoops, wrong canister. And here comes the good old childhood friend, Suzaku Kuroruji, who recognizes Lelouch amidst all this chaos. They're about to have a bro moment when a stuffy Britannian officer shows up and decides it's execution time for Lelouch. Not a very friendly welcome back to school. Now just when things are getting grim, our green-haired mystery lady jumps into action, intercepts a bullet, and has a little chat with Lelouch telepathically. Classic save your life in exchange for solitude deal. Like, what's not to love about that? Lelouch accepts, of course. Who needs friends and social life when you have superpowers? With newfound power of kings, Lelouch decides to play referee and orders the officer and his soldiers to do the most unexpected dance move ever, the suicide shuffle. Seriously, the officer goes from frown to clown with glowing red eyes and pulls the trigger on himself and his buddies. Quite the party trick, Lelouch. But hold on now. Our man Lelouch is having a deep philosophical moment about living a lie. Hey, Lelouch, we all have those days, but you know what? With great power comes a great excuse to keep living that lie. And he's all in it for the roller coaster ride. In the midst of all the chaos and epic nightmare battles, Lelouch finds himself in a classic superhero conundrum. His fancy power only works if he can make direct eye contact with someone. It's like trying to use a superpower, but forgetting to bring your glasses. Talk about bad luck. But don't worry, our hero is as cunning as they come. He hatches a plan so sneaky, it would make even the most mischievous cartoon characters proud. Pretending to be a noble in distress, he convinces the green-haired nightmare frame pilot to leave her ride unattended. Smooth move, Lelouch. Meanwhile, our dear Suzaku is probably thinking he's invincible, surviving a bullet all thanks to a pocket watch. Talk about the ultimate family heirloom, serving as both a stylish accessory and a bullet blocker. You can almost imagine him asking Lloyd if the watch comes in different colors to match his outfits. And just when you thought this story couldn't get any wilder, Lelouch becomes a traffic director for terrorists. It's like organizing a chaotic game of chess with nightmares as the pawns and the 11s as the stakes. I guess it's the one way to bring a bit of order to all of this mayhem. Enter the grand finale, the grand debut of the Lancelot nightmare frame. It sounds like a medieval knight brought to life with a robotic twist, and with Suzaku at the controls, it's like he's the ultimate medieval knight cosplayer, except he's got the real deal firepower. Lelouch, being the sly devil he is, manages to scare the wits out of Clovis, the viceroy himself, by infiltrating their mobile base. Imagine the look on Clovis's face when he realizes he's been outsmarted by a guy in a mask. Classic superhero drama right there. And after all the intense battles and cloak and dagger antics, Lelouch finally unveils his secret identity to his brother. It's like the grand reveal in a magic show. But instead of pulling a rabbit out of a hat, he's pulling out his true persona from behind a mask. So there you have it, a tale of powers that only work with direct eye contact, pocket watches that block bullets, terrorist traffic management, and epic nightmare battles. It's like a roller coaster ride through a wild and wacky anime world. Stay tuned for more thrilling adventures with Lelouch and his misfit crew. In a wild face-off with Clovis, Lelouch unleashes his power to uncover the truth about his mother's death. Sadly, Clovis knows nothing and points to his elder siblings, Cornelia and Schneider. Schneisel as the key players. Next day at school, Lelouch and his gang hear news from Shinjuku, and the memory of Clovis's demise sends Lelouch running for the nearest restroom. Meanwhile, the pure-blood Britannians, Villetta and Jeremiah, plot their next move against the honorary Britannian system. Back in class, Lelouch meets Callan, the fiery redhead, who he recognizes as the previous day's terrorist. He grills her, but she reveals her half-Britannian heritage. Lelouch's powers fail, leaving them both puzzled. Later, Lelouch returns home to his little sister, Nunnally, and their quirky maid, Sayoko. Nunnally dreams of a gentler world, and Lelouch hopes to make it a reality with his newfound power. The next day, Lelouch experiments with his ability, but it only works once on a person. Meanwhile, Callan contacts terrorists while worrying that Lelouch might know her secret. Lelouch and Callan sneak to the student council ballroom for a private chat, but their moment is interrupted by a champagne shower and a surprise party in Callan's honor. As Callan heads to the shower, Lelouch tries to help with a concealed knife wallet, but ends up tangled in questions about Shinjuku. A phone call provides a distraction, but little does Callan know it's a sneaky recording orchestrated by Lelouch's maid. Discussing club duties, Lelouch and Callan catch a news report on Clovis's death, which reveals a shocking arrest. Suzaku Kururugi, an honorary Britannian, is the prime suspect. Buckle up for more mind games and mischief on the next episode of Code Geass, the unpredictable adventures of Lelouch. Stay tuned or miss out on the crazy roller coaster of Britannian drama. Suzaku gets grilled by Jeremiah, who claims he has proof of him killing Prince Clovis, a gun with his fingerprints. Suzaku denies it, but gets roughed up. Meanwhile, Nunnally worries about Suzaku's arrest. Lelouch assures her he's innocent. OG's subordinate, Tamaki, calls him out for not blaming the terrorists for Clovis's death, making OG question his leadership. Next day, Callan and her crew visit Tokyo Tower, now a war museum. They receive a mysterious call from Zero and are asked to board a train. Zero, who's actually Lelouch, introduces himself to them. He tells them they need more than terrorism to win, they must take on Britannia itself. Lloyd visits Suzaku, who's resigned to his fate. Suzaku heads to trial, but Zero plans a rescue operation. Zero confronts Jeremiah with a fake chemical weapon, creating chaos to free Suzaku. Zero then offers Suzaku to join his fight, but Suzaku refuses, believing in changing Britannia from within. Nunnally learns that Suzaku might be found innocent, and a mysterious green-haired woman appears behind her. In the Middle East, the Britannians, led by Princess Cornelia, squash the resistance and set up Area 18. Cornelia's off to Area 11 to take charge and deal with Zero. Back home, Lelouch meets the green-haired woman named Cece, who granted him his mysterious power. He's curious, but she's not giving up much info. Zero's appearances inspire more resistant movements in Area 11, and Jeremiah's connection to him makes him look shady. Lelouch tells Cece he made up the name Orange to mess with the purebloods, and now they're suspicious of Jeremiah. Suzaku gets off the hook for Clovis's murder and saves a pink-haired girl named Yuffie, who's actually a Britannian student on a visit. They become friends, and she wants to check out the Shinjuku ghetto. Lelouch tests his power Geass on a student at school, and it has some interesting effects. Suzaku brings Yuffie to Shinjuku and faces some trouble, but she steps in, reveals she's a Britannian princess, and asks Suzaku to help end the war. Cornelia arrives in Area 11, mad at Yuffie's actions and determined to catch Zero. Next day, Suzaku joins Lelouch's school as a classmate. The adventure continues. In a distant land, a mysterious cloaked man informs Emperor Charles V. Britannia about Clovis's remains. The Emperor jokes about talking to Clovis recently and insists the project must proceed. Suzaku's arrival at Ashford Academy sparks curiosity as he was suspected of Clovis's murder. Lelouch secretly signals him to meet on the roof, where they catch up as old friends. Suzaku reveals that he arranged to attend the school. Euphemia helps Suzaku enroll at Ashford, while Cornelia leads an assault on a Japanese resistance group in search of Zero. Back home, Lelouch surprises Nunnally with a reunion with Suzaku. The three catch up, and Cece questions Lelouch about Suzaku, but he assures her they are friends. Before Suzaku leaves, leaves, he's worried about endangering Lelouch's secret of being a Britannian royal. Jeremiah is released from prison, but faces a ruined reputation for letting Zero escape. He's given a tough choice, starting over in the military or cultivating an orange farm. The next day at school, Suzaku finds her locker vandalized. Lelouch panics when he sees a cat with his Zero helmet and starts chasing it. Millie announces a contest to catch the cat, offering a budget increase and a kiss from a student council member. Kaylin joins the hunt to avoid winning her first kiss through a silly contest. Lelouch and Suzaku chase the cat together and Lelouch almost falls, but Suzaku saves him. The cat shakes off the helmet and Suzaku captures it, keeping Lelouch's secret safe. Suzaku's heroics earn him acceptance from Lelouch's friends, and Lelouch declares him as his friend. Suzaku is inducted into the student council, and Nunnally rewards them both with a peck on the cheek. Later, the Emperor gives a speech about inequality, stating that differences and struggle make Britannia strong, putting it above all others. Okay, so like 8 years ago in 2009, Lelouch v. Britannia had this intense showdown with his dad, the Emperor, over the whole messed up situation with his mom's death and his sister Nunnally's injuries. But the Emperor just brushed him off, calling Nunnally weak and all. This totally ticked Lelouch off, and in a fit of anger, he was like, you know what? I'm giving up my right to the throne. So as a result, the Emperor exiled both Lelouch and Nunnally to Japan, using them as some kind of bargaining chips. Fast forward to the present, and we've got Cornelia promoting Suzaku from private to warrant officer. Suzaku's getting some help from Cecile with school stuff cause she was worried he wouldn't fit in. Luckily, he's doing fine, thanks to an old friend's support. At school, there's drama between Callan and Shirley cause of a misunderstanding about Lelouch. Meanwhile, Millie's talking about an arranged marriage to help her family's reputation after Lelouch's mom passed away. Over in Saitama, Cornelia's planning to attack a resistance group in the ghetto. She's got some officers from a previous battle with her, trying to replicate those conditions. They even make a news report to lure out Zero. That's Lelouch's secret identity. Lelouch is all set to meet Cornelia's challenge to find out the truth about his mom's murder, but Cece, this mysterious person, tries to stop him with a gun. Worried he'll get himself killed and break some contract, but Lelouch won't back down and threatens to off himself unless Cece lets him go. He's like, before I got my Gias, I was basically just existing without purpose. I'd rather die than go back to that. Eventually, Cece gives in and lets him go. In Saitama, Cornelia's forces start killing 11s in the ghetto, and that's when Lelouch puts on a disguise and uses his Gias power to take control of a nightmare, those big fighting machines. He helps the insurgents by feeding them intel and even helps them get nightmares of their own. But Cornelia's no pushover and orders her troops to pull back. Lelouch sneaks around behind enemy lines to confront Cornelia directly. Oh my god, while back at school, Shirley tells Suzaku how she came to admire Lelouch. Turns out he helped this elderly couple in a car accident caused by some rich dude, and that won her over. In Saitama, Lelouch tricks Cornelia's soldiers into thinking he's one of them and sets up a diversion to distract them. Then he sneaks into Cornelia's base, and this gets intense. But Zero, who's actually CC, appears out of nowhere, saving Lelouch from getting caught. Lelouch decides he's had enough and is now determined to build an army and nation strong enough to take on Britannia. It's gonna be an epic battle. Okay, apologies for that. Let's give it another shot with a shorter, more humorous version. Shirley, Millie, and Nina decided to spice things up and go on a wild trip to Lake Kawaguchi near the legendary Mount Fuji. Nina's a worrywart and has this hilarious fear of 11s. Maybe she thinks they're secretly plotting against her? I don't know. Meanwhile, we have this mysterious Zero character who's pulling off some crazy stunts with a bunch of terrorists. He's got a snazzy mobile transport vehicle from a generous nobleman. Wink wink. Wonder what he did to charm that guy. Newsflash, Lake Kawaguchi Hotel is now a rebel headquarters taken over by a dude named Josui Kusakabe. The rebels are making demands, and the Britannian military, led by Princess Cornelia, is having a tough time dealing with them. Princess Euphemia's caught in the mess too, poor girl. Suzaku, the goody two-shoes, wants to help, but Cornelia's not too keen on trusting 11s. I can't blame her. They can be a mischievous bunch. Zero's got his own gang, and they call themselves themselves the Knights of Justice. Cue superhero theme music. Amidst all the chaos, Suzaku's geeking out about the logical system while rebels are threatening hostages. Priorities, man, priorities. But never fear, Zero's here. He's got a clever plan involving Cornelia's soft spot for Euphemia. Slick move, Zero. Suzaku's also doing his thing with a high-tech Lancelot and a fancy-schmancy Varys rifle. Pew pew! Inside the hotel, Nina's having a showdown with a scary JLF terrorist. 11's strike again. Oh, and guess what? Euphemia's not a damsel in distress. Princess power activated. Zero's giving the rebel leader a verbal beatdown. Who needs fists when you have a silver tongue? Kaboom! Suzaku saves the day and evacuates the hostages. Crisis averted. Drum roll, please. Zero unveils his Black Knight's army on TV. Rebel chic at its finest. And there you have it. A roller coaster ride of rebels, princesses, and Zero's genius plans. Can't wait to see what happens next. Let's get the likes on this like up to 50 and we'll do a part 2. And if you absolutely hate the anime, still give us a like and destroy us in the comments section. Wait, what? No. Alright, go ahead.